for this project. Now, I heard one councilman said that if we don't sign, they can take it by eminent domain. Well, that might be true, but we could also fight it in court. And if we do, it's gonna cost the city a lot of money and a lot of time. So I would think, people should consider the business owners out there before they consider putting a trail in for maybe half a dozen people. Right now, we have maybe, on a good week, 5 people walking through there. Now, to me, that doesn't justify putting in a sidewalk or a trail or whatever you want to call it. So, well, I guess that's all I got. Anybody got questions? Thank you.
Thank you, Butch. Carl King.
Hi, my name's Carl King, 1717 First Street West. My biggest concern is the water trouble I'm going to have when you guys put this in. It's going to push it up against my house farther, and my yard will just not hold that water. And my basement's going to be leaking, more or less. When they had the old street there before they put a new one in, they had a ditch along here. All the water drained ditch. I was fine. Then they put the new street in. I had to put a sump pump in my basement. And this is going to make it twice as bad because it's going to push the water closer to my house. Plus, when you get snow there, I got a long piece, a lot there, and I'm going to have 4 foot of snow in my front yard all the time. When that melts, what's going to happen? And that's my biggest concern about it. And plus, where they want to run that across there by McDonald's and stuff, that is so wet out in that field, I don't see how they can run anything out there. And I talked to that farmer, Loy. He's not for this. I think everybody on that street signed this petition except one place, and that was Subway. Everybody else that has anything to do with this signed it. And then, like I say, that'd be flooded. That sidewalk would be flooded going to school going across that field. They'd never be able to walk on it. That's just nothing but swamp back in there. Plus, the kids would be walking by that pond out there. You know how kids like to play with water, young kids. Boy, somebody could be in that real quick before we know it.
I've seen you out there, Carl.
Yeah, well, I'm a big kid.
You're just a big kid.
Yeah. But, that's a pretty big concern right there. That pond's deep. So, and I agree with what Butch had to say too, about the rest of the stuff. So that's about what I got to say about it. Plus, I'm gonna have to move my fire hydrant too. That's gonna be right in the way there.
Alrighty. Thank you, Carl.
Okay, thank you.
I have to apologize. This next name, they live at 1401 First West. I don't want to destroy it. If you signed after Carl.
Candy
Candy.
Mosier.
Okay.
I'm new to all this, so bear with me. My only concern is that we started that daycare right in front of the schools. We're at 1401 First Street West.
I didn't catch your name, honey.
Candy Mosier.
Okay.
And the only concerns we have is, first of all, the new trail would be right in our driveway, and that's our access to our families to come in and out and drop off kids. The other question is, we are swamped. I mean, we're picking up business, which is awesome, but parents are coming in, dropping off kids, and the safety issues with somebody pulling in right that close to the school. I mean, we're right off the school's driveway. That is a huge concern for the safety of the kids. We walk the kids to school along the side of the road every day and on the way back. So any more traffic that we have in there is just gonna make things a little more difficult for us to run our operation, but also the kids that we provide childcare for. The water thing is a huge issue too, because we're probably at the lowest point of any of it, and any water buildup is gonna go right in our front door, and then I'm gonna have my next door neighbors knocking on my door, you know, with safety codes and issues like that. So our biggest concern is the safety of the kids. We are right there by the school, so we have the highest traffic from 7 to 8. Our place is like a tornado. I mean, we have people dropping off kids. I mean, it's just swamped. And after school is the same way, and that's the times that those trails would be used. And that's our biggest issue, is just making sure there's safety and concerns going on with that. I think that's it.
Okay, thank you, Candy. Bob Zimmerly?
I'm Bob Zimmerly. My address, 1606 2nd Street. I guess I'm sitting in about the worst spot I could be at 2nd Street, because after Butch gets done with the water, it all ends up in my backyard. And I got no way of getting rid of it now. I went to my own expense and had Tyler's put a down tile in there and hooked to the tile going down by the school. I get rid of some of it. But there was a building built right on the east side of me that stopped the water drain down through there. So it raised the water table up in our area till we've got a serious problem. It's even affecting the street. It's affecting all of our driveways. It's got cement driveways. They're settling. My porch is settled away from my house. The sidewalk's broke. The cement in the drive is broke. We just haven't got any way of getting rid of it. So that's my biggest concern. I don't want anything to happen that's gonna put more water on me, because I can't drink it fast enough to get rid of it, so. That's my biggest concern. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Bob. Chad?
That's fine.
Together, okay, so you feel the same way as Candy, I take it, then?
We hope so.
Okay, is it Donna? Darwin? Sorry about that.
Yes, I'm Darwin Johnson. I own the Johnson Appliance Building, which is currently leased to the Mosers for their daycare operation. Candy's covered pretty much all of our concerns on that, the safety issues with all the children and everything. The main concern is the water problem. You know, I'm the lowest of all the area there. We're 4 foot below the curb, you know, as far as our driveway even, you know, the approaches to the drives and the angles and everything. It'll just make it next to inaccessible and everything. You know, I checked out the storm sewer that was supposed to take care of all the water problems when the curb and gutter was put in there, you know, and all of that was raised. That's within 9 foot of the curb of the highway, the storm sewer intake, and it's inadequate. I've witnessed in real heavy rains out there, water being within 3-4 foot of our front door on the building. So, even now, so it just isn't adequate, and in the winter time, why it's all covered up with snow and ice and slush that's plowed off, you know, from the First Street, Main Street West. So, accessibility of the drives, you know, and water problem for me, I just can't give up any property. I can't give up any footage on that frontage at all. We won't have a drive or anything for traffic access. So, my sign is within 13 foot of the curb of the highway, so what happens, you know, and that's 4 foot below the brick planter and everything, and with the posts, what happens then if you come across there? So I just don't see how it can even be considered, but those are my concerns.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Darwin. Steve Wasco?
My name is Steve Waskow, and I own the A&W and an old affordable transmission shop, or the Iowa transmission shop. And my concern is, okay, if you take off 20 foot, 25 foot frontage, my renter will not be able to get in to his building. So if you take that away, he says, well, I'm gonna have to move.